Yo, what's up everybody? Today I have a special video. We're going to talk about a very unique plant called the skunk cabbage. So it is February 16th. We are full on winter. This is the middle of the winter, the coldest month. And I hate it. I hate this weather. But the reason why we're out here freezing our butts off is because the skunk cabbage is in full bloom. Yes, I said full bloom in the middle of February. Now that doesn't make any sense. I like to call this plant backwards. I've used that term before talking about another plant, the Italian arum. Well, this is also plant backwards. This thing comes up. It's known as the first or one of the first wild flowering plants. And you can see here we're kind of like in a marshy area. We have looks like an underground spring. This is always going. And I'm just going to kind of do like a slow pan. We have a creek over there, and you can see here there's some more kind of pockets of water. So this is very much a swampy area, and this is where you're going to find them. You're not going to find them in the water. You're really going to find them right next to it. Like, they like that wet soil. That I don't know that they like the actual standing water, but they like that wet and moist soil. That's what they like, and that's what's going to help them thrive. So I'm going to try to get closer to some of these and show you what the heck I'm talking about. So this alien looking plant, it's very vital to the wetland, the water quality. So it has this extensive root system that, number one, it kind of helps with wetland erosion. When you have a wetland like this, land erosion is very, it's one of the worst parts about this. So this really helps hold the land together, and also kind of helps produce nutrients among the other wetland plants. I guess it's part of the ecology here. So this purple, let me see if I can get a better one here, because they're all kind of in different stages right now. Let's see a better one over here. So this kind of yellow, purplish, dark kind of hood here, that's called the spathe. And what that does is inside this hood, this chimney, if you will, is a flower. It's not a very attractive flower, but it's a flower nonetheless. And that's kind of one of the jobs of this thing is protecting this flower. And another interesting thing, I think the most interesting part about this spathe is it helps. Well, let me see this. Hence the name skunk cabbage. It produces a stinky smell. It's not very attractive. Some people say it smells like garlic. Some people even say it smells like skunk or even rotting flesh. I don't think it smells that bad, but I would say a skunk. At times you can definitely smell the skunk if you're out fishing, or if you accidentally kick or disturb the leaves, you're gonna get that skunky smell. So I have smelled the skunk smell before. So what this is doing is it's protecting this flower, and this plant actually produces heat. Yes, this plant produces heat, and I've read that so much so that it produces the same amount of heat as a mammal would of equal size. So reports have said that the inside of this spathe, inside of this plant, they've recorded temperatures up to 60 and 70 degrees in the middle of the winter. That's insane. And the reason why they do that is to track pollinators. And you're probably thinking, well, it's February. What insect is going to be out and about, looking for pollen? Well, there are certain, beetles, bees, gnats, certain kind of insects. I don't know exactly which ones. They are out right now, and they're kind of hiding inside this spathe where this heat is, and they are cross-pollinating the flowers. The flowers are called a spadix. So you have the spathe here, this hood, this alien-looking hood, and then you have the spadix, which is inside, and that's the flower. And it's pretty crazy. And I think the reason why they do this, or one of the reasons, the theory is that they're such an early bloomer that they want to be one of the first plants to be pollinated, as some of these insects, not all, but some of these insects are waking up from winter's nap, and they are going in these skunk cabbages, which is pretty crazy. So I'm gonna find another one that I located. that you can see the flower. I don't want to disturb this spathe and rip it open, but I wanted to see if you can peek inside. This thing's pretty open, so let's see if we can kind of get a peek inside here. You see this? It almost looks like one of those monkey balls. You ever see those? See this right here? There it is, right there. So that's the flower. That's the spadix. And inside here, like I said, all these insects are going to kind of go in there, enjoy that warmth, and, you know, hop to another skunk cabbage flower and pollinate, which is absolutely amazing. I mean, just a very, very, very unique plant, and it's just crazy to me. And and it's not the only plant that can do this, producing heat. But it's called thermogenesis. So that's, if you ever want to look that up, hopefully I'm not mispronouncing that. I most likely am. But thermogenesis is what it's called when plants are creating its own heat. So let's go take a look at some other ones in their different stages. Here you can see one's just popping up. This is really cool. And some of these have really neat colors to them. Like, look at that. How insane is that? And like I said, you're not seeing this in the standing water. You're seeing it just next to it in a swampy area. And the cool thing is, this is not what it looks like. As cool as this plant looks right now in the middle of the winter, look at that. But in, like, let's say later spring, maybe like sometime around April and May, it has these big leaves, and it kind of looks like once it's done blooming, it has these really big, cool, tropical looking leaves that kind of look like a mix between, you know, a hosta and an elephant ear. Just a really neat plant. And you know, if you're out and about and there's like a wetland in the northeast, this is called the eastern skunk cabbage, you're more than likely going to find these things. And I've actually tried to dig one of these up before, and it's really hard. And one, I was all stinky because I was disturbing the leaves. And two, I wasn't able to dig it up because their root system is really deep. Really, really deep. Just an amazing plant. You know, generates heat, and a lot of times, like you look at here, this is an example. Look at the snow around the plant. It's melted, and that's not a coincidence. That's because of this thing generating heat, because it is blooming right now in the middle of February, the dead middle of winter. Pretty amazing stuff. And as I mentioned earlier, so that heat is kind of helping push that stinky smell, and that smell is attracting those pollinators. So those insects that are kind of out and about right now, they're smelling that, and that's attracting them to the spathe, and ultimately the spadix, which is the flower. So really cool. And I will have a second video, you know, in around like the later spring, to show you guys what the leaves look like and how really cool it looks. All right, team, thank you, and join us next time for part 2 of this skunk cabbage series.